from left, Rachel Crooks, Jessica Leeds and Samantha Holvey held a news conference on Monday in Manhattan for a film that focuses on women who have publicly accused Donald J. Trump of sexual misconduct. Andrew Keller, Reuters, Washington. Several women who came forward during the 2016 campaign to accuse Donald J. Trump of sexual misconduct renewed their allegations publicly on Monday, betting that recently aggressive attitudes against harassment will give their stories new life and demanding that Congress investigate the president's actions. The women said that they were frustrated that their stories about what they described as Mr. Trump's actions did not have a greater effect on his campaign. They also expressed hope that they would be taken more seriously after a torrent of similar accusations had toppled the careers of powerful men in the news media, business and politics. Now it's just like, all right, let's try round two. The environment is different. Let's try again. Samantha Holvey, a former contestant in the Miss USA pageant, said Monday morning on the NBC program, Megyn Kelly Today. She repeated her charge that Mr. Trump ogled her and other women in the pageant's hair and makeup room. Holvey was joined by Jessica Leeds, who has said Mr. Trump groped and kissed her during a flight in the 1970s, and Rachel Crooks, who has accused Mr. Trump of repeatedly kissing her outside her office in Trump Tower. Lisa Boyne, a fourth accuser, joined the women at a news conference hosted by Brave New Films, a documentary film company. After the meal was cleared, all of a sudden, he was all over me, kissing and groping and kissing, Ms. Leeds said. My memory of it was, nothing was said. He didn't say, oh, by the way, and I didn't go, eat, or help, or whatever. It was just this silent groping going on. The effort by the women to attract new attention to the allegations comes amid rapidly shifting attitudes in American society about the need to hold men accountable for their treatment of women, even for acts perpetrated long ago. Several high-profile television anchors have been fired from their jobs after being accused of inappropriate touching, exposing themselves or assaulting women in the workplace. Allegations of sexual assault against Roy S. Moore, the Republican candidate for Senate in Alabama, have roiled the special election in that state, where voting is to take place on Tuesday. Trump's decision to endorse Mr. Moore despite accusations that the Senate candidate once fondled a 14-year-old girl, has highlighted the president's own accusations. On Monday, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat of New York, added her name to a short list of Democratic lawmakers who have called on Mr. Trump to resign because of the sexual misconduct accusations lodged against him. President Trump has committed assault, according to these women, Ms. Gillibrand said Monday afternoon on CNN. And those are very credible allegations of misconduct and criminal activity, and he should be fully investigated and he should resign. She echoed the comments of the women, saying that Congress should investigate. Whether the president will hold himself accountable is something you really can't hold your breath for, so Congress should have hearings, Ms. Gillibrand said. This month, Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, called on the president to step down because of a track record of horrific conduct with women. Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent from Vermont, said on Sunday that the president has been accused by many women of assault, and urged him to consider resigning the way that Senator Al Franken, Democrat of Minnesota, agreed to do after multiple allegations of inappropriate behavior. Senator Cory Booker, Democrat of New Jersey, told Vice News on Sunday that the accusations by the women against Mr. Trump were far more damning. White House officials on Monday repeated the president's claim that the accusations of sexual misconduct were false and that the women were lying. The president has directly responded and said that these allegations are false, and that's what I'm doing in relaying that information to you. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, told reporters. Asked whether Congress should investigate, Ms. Sanders noted that voters had already made a judgment about the allegations. This took place long before he was elected to be president, Ms. Sanders said. And the people of this country, at a decisive election, supported President Trump, and we feel like these allegations have been answered through that process. The women accusing the president originally came forward, along with several others, in October 2016 after reports emerged of Mr. Trump talking crudely on an Access Hollywood recording. Trump admitted to making the comments on the tape, and apologized for them, but he vehemently denied the allegations of misconduct and harassment by the other women. After Mr. Trump's victory on Election Day, interest waned in the allegations. Several of the women said on Monday that they were angry that the decision to tell the stories did not initially seem to be taken seriously. "It was heartbreaking last year," Ms. Holvey said on the NBC program. "We are private citizens, and for us to put ourselves out there, to try to show America who this man is, and especially how he views women, for them to say, 'Meh, we don't care,' it hurt. It remains to be seen whether the women will now be treated differently." Nikki Haley, the ambassador to the United Nations and a prominent woman in Mr. Trump's cabinet, broke with White House talking points on Sunday when she said that the president's accusers should be heard, and should feel free to come forward. "Even though the election was over, I know that he was elected," Ms. Haley said on CBS's Face the Nation. "But, you know, women should always feel comfortable coming forward. And we should all be willing to listen to them." At the White House, Ms. Sanders responded to a question about Ms. Haley's comments by saying that the president agreed, in generic terms, that it's a good thing that women are coming forward to tell their stories about harassment. But she said that he also feels strongly that a mere allegation shouldn't determine the course, and she repeated Mr. Trump's belief that his victory in the election should be the end of the story. "The American people knew this and voted for the president," Ms. Sanders said. "And we feel like we're ready to move forward in that process." A version of this article appears in print on December 12, 2017, on page A22 of the New York edition with the headline "Several Trump accusers renew allegations as attitudes on harassment shift."